Thankfully, no. We've had enough to deal with pre-camp and during camp. So, it's been a frustration of ours for months now, Rob, and unfortunately, it's something that we just have to deal with. We haven't got as many players playing domestic football week in, week out as we'd like. It just happens to be that we've had a few defenders pull out this camp, really important ones as well, because not fringe players, players that have been a big part of the success we've had in recent months and years. So that is a frustration. And at the minute, the full-backs and wing-backs are not 100% fit, and we're having to manage that as well through this week. So it's difficult. Yeah,
with Connor Roberts, Burnley saying only so many minutes, if you can possibly do that.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't think they were too keen for him to come on camp. So Connor's shown absolute loyalty, whatever you want to call it, commitment to the cause, and he was adamant he was coming away. But we have to be respectful to Burnley. We have to be respectful to Connor and his needs. Realistically, Rob, he's played 45 minutes. He's played 45 minutes between now and the game against Denmark. And after he come back from that, he's had a slight thigh strain. So this is his first 2-3 days back on the grass. So we have to manage that and be realistic in our expectations with him.
So it might mean Sober Thomas, who made a big impression this week, might get a bigger chance to make an impression on the pitch.
Well, yeah, we've been impressed with Sober, absolutely, and he hasn't surprised me. That's the reason he's in the squad, because we've been out and many of us have watched him over the recent weeks and months now, and he has impressed. Now, whether he starts or not is something I'm going to keep close to my chest. But all he can worry about is how he trains, and yeah, he's done really well.
What about Aaron Ramsey then, Rob? He's not played many minutes, but he is there. He's with you now. What are you hoping for from him over the next 2 games?
Aaron's trained really well, and like I said in recent interviews, Aaron's learning now, the older he gets, to manage his body from a conditioning point of view, and he's taken upon himself to employ other physios and fitness coaches to maintain that level that he got us through in the Euros in the summer. He hadn't played many minutes coming into the Euros, and it was all there for everybody to see the levels he got to and the consistency throughout the tournament that he got. So I expect exactly the same from him on this camp.
And obviously, without Gareth Bale, he is a major player for you, isn't he? So is it time for him now to really step forward and take the mantle?
It's like he has done in the past, Rob. Yeah, when you got those 2 players on the team sheet, opposition managers stand up and take note. No different. Like, we haven't got Gareth on this occasion, but we've got DJ that's playing top football at the minute and enjoying his football, and he looks again great in training. And Kiefer's a constant threat. And when you got people like Aaron again on the team sheet, like I said, opposition managers will take note. Big games, you want your big players, and Aaron again hasn't disappointed us in recent months and years with helping us qualify for the Euros with the 2 goals. And like I said, big games, he steps up to the plate, and this is a big game for us.
Who's your captain and why, Rob?
Yeah, Rambo's captain. So, I don't think I'm going to surprise too many there. So, I just think you see him train again today, and when he's out there, he does actually, inspire the players. He absolutely does. And I think after Bailo, I think he's the natural one for me. But Rob, like I've said in the past, I've got Chris Gunter, who's an absolute leader. He doesn't need to wear the armband. We've got Joe Allen in the middle of the park. We've got Danny Ward. I've got an abundance of senior players in that changing room that are superb. They don't need the armband. But for me, for this one, it'll be Rambo.
Because he's had a chance before. He didn't really enjoy it that much. I think it was a pressure relief from him, but you feel he's the natural choice now.
Yeah, he's at a different stage of his career now. We were talking a few years ago when, complete focus should have been on just him going to enjoy his football and playing. And, he's with a different group of players now. You look how the group's getting younger and younger every camp we have. So he's one of the senior players. And like I said, for me now, he's ready for that responsibility as well.
And last topic for me, Rob, there's been a lot of talk about players having COVID vaccines. You said when you announced your squad, you were doubling down on the measures to prevent COVID in the camp, like what happened last time. Have you spoken to the players about vaccines? And do you know how many of your players have been vaccinated?
Yeah, I haven't got the exact figures, Rob, but absolutely our medical team will know. exactly how many of our players have been vaccinated and haven't, and the staff. We're all in that same boat. So I can only control what I can control, and that means we go back to, the single rooms and with the protocols that we have in place. I can control that. We can control that as a staff. Whether the players have been double vaccinated or not, I can't control that. It's down to them as individuals and human beings. So it's frustrating because there's only one way out of this for me, and that's for everybody to be double vaccinated, and it reduces the risk considerably of getting the virus. So it's frustrating, but you have to respect everybody's individuals, and they've got their own reasons for doing it, and that's it.
Rob, all the best. Thanks.
Cheers, Rob. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Graham Thomas.
Hi, Rob. Graham Thomas here from Sky. How you doing?
Hi, Graham. Good, thanks.
Good. Can you just tell us a little bit more about the nature of the illnesses with Ben Davies and David Brooks? That they're not COVID related?
No, they're not COVID related. No. And I don't want to go into too much detail with it. They're both illnesses that have ruled them out for this camp. And like I said, two great players that have been an important part of the success we've had in recent months, and they'll be sorely missed. Right.
Spurs had talked about an appendix issue with Ben Davies a couple of weeks ago. Is it something related to that? Or?
All I can say is it's stomach related, yeah. So he's been suffering with cramps and not being able to get on the grass, because of the pain that has caused him. So they've done all the investigations they need to do. He's now slowly doing some exercise, but again, I think yesterday was his first day on grass. So to throw him into this camp would be would be crazy for him.
Right, okay. Just to go back to Aaron Ramsey, Rob, are you surprised he hasn't played more for Juventus, or do they take a different view of his current fitness to your view?
I can't speak for Juventus' manager and the staff and the team out there. All I know is I've got a great player, and we've all seen glimpses of what he's capable of doing in the summer, and I thought he was outstanding. And I've been working with him closely for probably the first time in an intense environment. It is a crying shame that he's not playing week in, week out. I'd love to see him in the Premiership. He deserves to be playing week in, week out in the Premiership, and the supporters need to be watching him and seeing what he's capable. We watch him in training today. He does things that it takes your breath away. So we all know what he's capable of doing, and you're right, he should be playing week in, week out. But that's my opinion.
Has he spoken to you about his frustrations of the last few months?
Yeah, I've had chats throughout the summer with him, and I'm I want to support him in any way I can. You want your best players playing week in, week out, whether that's in Italy, Germany, Spain, in the Premiership. You want your players playing, and I'm always there for every single player in that team, and they contact me quite regularly and run things by me, and they want to be a part of this world setup moving forward as well, and they know the importance of playing domestic football. So Aaron's no different, but we have had conversations, and he wants to be playing like everybody else.
Another player who's been a big player for you in the last couple of years has been Kiefer Moore. He's only scored one goal, I think, in 13 games for Cardiff this season. How much of a concern for you is that? No, when you look at all the outside factors regarding that, he's not had a clear run through pre-season. He's been affected 2 or 3 times by COVID, which has meant he's had to isolate and miss training. And when you do that to any player, it's going to affect your performance, absolutely. So I'm not overly concerned with that. He's getting back up to speed now. He's played more minutes for Cardiff in the last couple of weeks than what he's done all season. So, yeah, inevitably we know he's a threat. He's a goal scorer. He's one of our main goal scorers and main threats, and a big part of what we want to do again moving forward. And yeah, he'll get better and better as the days go on. How much of a tactical switch is it without Gareth Bale for you? I mean, so much obviously flows through him. So much is the end product for you from him as well. Is there a big tactical shift for this game? No, if you want to keep the same shape, you just go, like for like, you put a replacement in. We've got one eye on the opposition, the Czech Republic. It's a game we want to be positive in. We want to go and win the game. So we'll pick a team that we think will go out and do that. Whether we change formation or not is something that we'll have a look at, because we're up against, like I said, a very good team, but we know we can get the win as well. So I want to be positive in our formation and in the personnel and go for the win. And just lastly from me, Rob, we've seen in the last few weeks, particularly last week when Rangers played in Prague, that in stadia over there, racism is still a problem. We saw that with Glenn Kamara last week. Is that a big concern of yours? And what is the strategy if that comes about again?
Again, there's protocols put in place. Every single player in that change room will know that they're absolutely backed and supported by the right governing bodies. And if action needs to be taken, we absolutely will as a group. We won't stand. We've got zero tolerance for any racial abuse that the players go through. We will absolutely take the knee because that's what we think is the right message to continue to show. And how the crowd react, again, we can't influence that. All we can do is influence what we do on the pitch and conduct ourselves in the right and proper manner. So us as a group of players and group of staff, we know how to conduct ourselves. We know what's acceptable and what's not. Can't influence the crowd. If they boo, at least we're showing the same message moving forward. And anything beyond that, we'll fully support the players.
Gareth Bale said to us a month ago that walking off the field was still an option he felt that should be in the armoury for players. Is that an option for your team?
Of course it is. If it's that bad, and we think it's completely unacceptable, the abuse that the players are getting, I'm not going to have my group of players out there subjected to that. So yeah, absolutely, we all stand together, and if it needs to be done, then we'll absolutely prepare to do it.
Thanks, Rob.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks, Graham. Tom Prosser.
Hi, Rob. Only 2 games in this international camp. How much of a difference did that third game make to you in the previous international windows? Yeah,
I was quite critical of it first off, Tom. I thought it was more of a sort of inconvenience, with the smaller group of players that we had. But it might have benefited us this camp because we might have got players coming into it that have needed more game time, but haven't been able to have that domestically at the clubs. And for whatever reason, we might have been able to use that the top minutes up like we've done in the past in the summer pre-Euro. So yeah, it's just ironic, isn't it? That the time we really want that game, we don't have it. But again, it is what it is. We've got 2 great games coming up. A big one against the Czech Republic on Friday, and we're fully committed to that one now and ready for it.
Obviously, you're calling up Sorba Thomas. What message, does that send out to other young players or players that haven't been picked yet for Wales that, a good run of form could potentially see you called up?
Yeah, positive message, of course. You've only got to look at the average age of the group that we've got. I've just said previously that the age of the group is getting, younger and younger. Sorba's a young lad himself, 22 years old, and as in adversity come out the other side, being released from a top club in West Ham at a young age and show the resilience to bounce back again. And he's now playing championship football and being acknowledged for that and getting championship player of the month and doing really well. So the message has always been consistent, even, from when Ryan took over and myself now, is that it doesn't matter about age. If you're good enough to play and you're playing well, then you're going to get a chance. We'll fast track you through.
A final one for me, Will Vaulks is called up after, I think, a year out of a Welsh setup. He had obviously a decent run at Cardiff, played regularly towards the end of last season. How unlucky was he not to go to the Euros, and how and a word in his reselection now this time around? Yeah,
it's difficult when you've got to pick a group of players to go into a tournament environment. That's the hardest thing. It's disappointing players, and he was one of them. He falls into that category, of course. And there was others that we took away to Portugal, and then we had to disappoint after. So yeah, it's all part and parcel of football and international football. There was a way we played in previous games that have got us a success. So if you've not got a winning formula, you don't change it. And unfortunately, he saw himself out of the squad while we were winning games and doing well. At this moment in time, with physicality of the next couple of games as well, I think that will add something to the group, and hence why I've now called him back into the group.
Okay, thanks, Rob. All the best.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Shauna David.
Hi, Rob. You okay?
Hi, Shauna. All good, thanks.
The Wi-Fi in our hotel is really bad, so apologies if my connection isn't great.
Okay.
Rob, how crucial is it as a group that you keep your fate in your own hands? Because there's no doubt this game on Friday, it could be the decider in terms of who finishes second in this group.
Yeah, when you look at the remaining fixtures that we've both got, obviously this is, it's a must-win game for us. If we want to guarantee to finish second, we can't control what happens after that. But for us to take, like you said, destiny into our own hands, then we want to win this game. And we're doing everything possible. Preparations have been great. And we give ourselves the best chance to win this game.
The game at home back in March, even though a lot has happened since then, how much confidence will that give you that you have managed to beat this very strong Czech side before? Yeah,
listen, they were a very good outfit on the night, and we've spent the last couple of days looking back over some of the footage of that game. Some of it's relative to how we want to play against them away from home as well. They're very, very attack-minded. At times they'll attack with 6. Both fullbacks are very, very positive, and at times are the highest players together on the pitch. 2 wide men come inside and they try to overload the middle of the park, so we have to, we'll have to cater for that as well. But like we've proven in the past, we know that with the team that we've got that's going to go out, will give us the best chance to win that game. And we'll respect them for what they are. They're a very good outfit. They're robust. They're big. They're athletic. They've got quality, but so have we as well. So it'll make for an entertaining, interesting game.
Tactically wise, you've got a player like Patrick Schick, who is fantastic at the Euros. What will be, I guess, the game plan to keep him quiet on Friday?
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. You name one of maybe 4 or 5 others. They've had 4 pull-ups, two really important players for them. So Schick just falls into that category as well as a top player. He's proven his worth in the summer in the Euros, and we'll have to be at our best to compete with him. But we've got top defenders there as well that have come across opposition like him. So we'll be fully ready to pit their wits against him then, yeah.
And just final one from me. Last time we spoke to you, you said you hadn't spoken with Sorba Thomas yet and that you didn't know him personally. What have you made of him over the past few days, obviously in training, but also off the pitch? Is he a nice guy?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think you'd be surprised by me saying that. He's blended in with the group really, really well. But when you've got a group of players like we've got, that's made easy for him anyway. There's no egos in this changing room, absolutely not. They've welcomed him in with open arms. He settled in really quickly. He had to sing his song like every newcomer does, and done all right and done really well. I was quite confident with it. So, yeah, the group have taken to him and he's taken to us. So he's a good lad.
Last one. What song was it?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I was asked that the other day as well. I can't remember. Couldn't have made that much of an impression on me then, could it?
That's fine, Rob. Thank you very much. Safe travels.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye.
Diolch, Sioned. Beth Fisher.
Hey Rob, spoke to Connor earlier in the week, and this World Cup qualifying is a little bit like the Euros, isn't it? You're not the best of starts, but do you believe with these games now, 2 at home, that it is definitely still up there for grabs?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going for the second spot, and this is a must-win game if we want to take absolute control of that. So looking at the remaining fixtures that we've got, of course they're winnable, but yeah. We're just fully prepared for this game on Friday first, and full focus is on that.
Does the fact that you have this spot as well with the Nations League work that you did last year, does that what kind of message or kind of mindset does that give you, knowing that you will have a second chance as well?
Yeah, maybe you can take more of a gamble, more chances, knowing that you're pretty much guaranteed a playoff place anyway. So yeah, that's good to have that as an insurance policy, but we still want to finish second. With what we've got in the changing room and what we've done so far, we want to achieve that second spot.
And just a note on Sorba. I mean, he's been quite kind of the impact on us as journalists this week, and that is the magic of Wales, isn't it? That you get stories and characters probably more than the big teams. And I just want to know your thoughts on what that means for Wales and your squad.
Well, I think it's a great story what Sorba's done. He started off at West Ham's academy. He had the disappointment of being told he weren't going to make it as a professional footballer, and showed resilience then to go and play non-league football at Boreham Wood. He had 4 or 5 good seasons there, and bounced back, and is now playing his football at championship level and doing really, really well. I've had him watched. Obviously we've done our work on him and found out that he's Welsh and monitored him then for some weeks. And like I said, the rest is history. Then he's come into the group and give a good account of himself, and he's a good lad.
And just last one from me, obviously the luck you've had with players being injured or illness or whatever is not been on Wales' side. We've had blinking travel and you know, DNA and all those types of tests. Are you hoping that the luck falls on your side on the pitch for these next 2 games?
I think we deserve it. I do. I think we deserve it. I think we've, you know, we're not ones in the group have not mentioned it. We're not sitting here grumbling and complaining about things. We just get on with it. That's the mentality of the players we've got in there. They're a good group. But we have had our difficulties. We haven't got an abundance of players that, let's say, England have got, you know, the pool of players. So we need our best players fit, playing every week. We've had to manage that in recent months as well. We haven't always had the players playing domestic football week in, week out. So that first friendly that we've had, we've used that at times to sort of get the minutes into their legs for the 2 qualifiers. So it hasn't been easy, but like I said, we're not going to complain. We've got a group of players ready to go and perform against the Czech Republic on Friday.
Listen, good luck.
Thank you.
Diolch Beth, we're going to have to end it there with Rob. Thanks all.